I'm going to be showing you how to get all the collectibles in the Smallville hub world area within LEGO DC Supervillains. Let's get started. Okay, so starting things off with a gold brick. This one's called Water Wealth, and it's going to be found on the left side of Smallville as you're coming in from Metropolis. And so there's going to be this creek, and in front of the creek there's going to be a sign that has a gold LEGO object on it that says gold panning. So we're going to destroy that using Superman's laser vision, and that's going to cause some gold to travel down this creek, but it's going to get stopped by these people panning for gold. So what we have to do now is get rid of those people. So nearby there's going to be a beehive in the nearby tree, and so we can just attack that beehive using a batarang or Superman's freeze breath in this case. That'll destroy it and cause the bees to go after those two NPCs, and that'll cause them to run away, which will make the gold travel down the creek a little bit further. So we're going to follow it down there, and then we just have to freeze up the water using Superman's freeze breath. Then you can build it up into the gold brick for Water Wealth. Next is a side quest. This one's called Nth-formation, and it's going to be found in the bottom left corner of the town area of Smallville. So as we head into this building, there's going to be this mysterious character named the Gentleman Ghost that we can talk to. I guess he's somebody from DC Comics. I've never heard of him. But we're going to talk to him, and once he gets done talking, that will activate the side quest. And this is going to be one of those quests that we've seen quite a bit throughout the city, but we have to go around and talk to 5 different NPCs around Smallville, and they're going to each give us a little bit of information that we need, and then we're going to report it back over to the Gentleman Ghost. So over here behind this building where these dumpsters are, there's going to be this character with the brown hat on. We're going to talk to him, and he's going to give us our first clue. And I believe he's looking for information about something called the Nth metal, if I remember correctly. There's going to be this coffee shop. This is going to be where the second NPC is. And as we head back in Smallville towards the Clark Kent farm, there's going to be another character that we can talk to, this girl here. And for this side quest, they don't actually show you the exact location of each of these characters. It just kind of gives you the general location on the map. As you can see there, there's little yellow indicators. So you will have to kind of look in that general area to find them. But back here towards the Smallville Airfield, there's going to be this police officer that we can talk to. He's going to talk about a big inspection in the center of town. And then there's going to be one more at the entrance of Smallville on the very far left side. Actually, originally forgot to show this one, so this NPC is not required. He doesn't give you information that you need to complete the quest, but I figured I'd show it anyway. So he's going to be back here towards this creek. There's going to be this farmer-looking character. We're going to talk to him, and he's not going to really have any information for us. But now that we've talked to all 5 of those NPCs, we're now going to make our way back over to the Gentleman Ghost. And he's going to give us 5 different options for each of the different clues. So the correct ones are the 2 that begin with the word something. So the one that says something found, that's going to be your first correct answer. And then the next one's going to be the something valuable is being transported, blah, blah, blah. And so as long as you select those 2, you will complete this part of the side quest. But we're not done just yet, because now it goes on where we have to follow the Gentleman Ghost around Smallville for a little bit. So we're going to take him on over here to where this horse and carriage is. There's going to be a whole bunch of police officers outside. And so what we have to do is just beat up all of those guys. And inside is going to be the item that he needs. And so what you have to do is to start attacking the little treasure chest that's inside the carriage, and then he'll start talking to you for a bit, and then once he gets done, you will unlock the Gentleman Ghost as a playable character. The next gold brick that we're going to tackle is called Octangent, and it's going to be located in the bottom of the town section of Smallville, and this one's going to be at the gas station. So there's going to be fire everywhere, and we need to put that fire out by shutting off the 3 pumps at the gas station. So to do that, there's going to be several different things we got to do. So first off, on the left side, there's going to be this car wash. Hop in the car and just drive it out of the car wash, and that will open up this electrical panel on the wall. So now we're going to switch over to a character that can charge those up, like Livewire or Grid in this case. And so once we have that fully charged up, there's going to be a brief cutscene, and then we're going to be able to turn on this valve. And whoops, I did not mean to throw that car there. We're going to turn that valve, and that'll shut off one of the 3 pumps, the number 6 pump right there. So that's 1 out of 3. And the next one's going to be up here on the rooftop. This is the easiest one to shut off. So just fly up here to the roof of the gas station, turn that little valve, and that'll shut off the number 4 pump. So that'll be number 2 out of 3. And then this next one is going to be on the side of the building. So we need to throw a staff into the wall there at the highest point. So Robin is a good candidate for that. So we're going to switch over to Robin, throw his staff into the wall, and in order to get him up there, I just kind of jumped on this side wall, this brick wall, and I was able to reach up to where the staff is, and then he'll spin on that, and that'll lower it down, which is going to open up this garage door, and inside, next to this car, is going to be the final valve that we need. So we're just going to get rid of that car that's in our way by throwing it. And then we can just spin that valve, and that'll shut off the final pump, the number 2 pump. So once they've all been shut off, we're not quite done yet. Now we have to actually put out the fire. So you can use Superman's freeze breath, or in this case, I'm going to use Killer Frost. And so we're going to go around, we're going to freeze up Robin there on accident, and just put out all of this fire. And so once all the fire has finally been put out, and all the pumps have been shut down, this car, the trunk is going to open up, this red car that's kind of crashed there, and inside of it is going to be the gold brick for Octangent. Next, we're going to do a race. This one's called Smallville Cycling Enthusiast Club, and it's going to be found on the left side of the town section of Smallville. And so once we get here, this race will require a bicycle. So what we're going to do is pull up the vehicle roster and spawn one in. So to do that, you pull up the character roster, then you hit the X or square button. That'll pull up all the vehicles. Then you can spawn in any bike that you have unlocked. And so now we're going to start the race. This one does have a 1-minute time limit in order to get the gold rank and to get the reward at the end. And you have to go through 17 different checkpoint rings. Now, I found this time limit to actually be somewhat strict, so usually I can complete these things in like almost half the time that it gives you, but this one I found to be a little bit more strict. I think I only maybe had like 5 seconds to spare at the end. You don't have like a ton of room for error like you usually do, but once you go through all 17 of these rings, you will unlock the Batcycle as a playable vehicle. Next, we're going to stick with the races and do another one called Escape to the Country, and this one's going to be found in the bottom section of the town area of Smallville. And so this is going to be where the race begins, and this one requires a car or a bicycle. And so for this one, I believe I end up spawning in the Batmobile. Yeah, the iconic Lego DC Supervillains Batmobile. So we're going to spawn that in. Clark Kent's going to drive it this time. And so for this one, we have a 1-minute and 15-second time limit to drive through 25 different rings across Smallville. So this one's going to have you go all the way around this area through the Airfield section and around town. And so we're just going to go through all these different checkpoint rings. You do have to watch out for the traffic here in the town section, as well as the different light poles that are around here. And you're going to end up outside towards Metropolis. So we're driving through this entrance road here, and now we're in Metropolis, and that will complete the race, and you will unlock the tractor as a playable vehicle. Switching over to a gold brick, this one's called Honey, I'm Trapped on the Balcony. It's going to be found right in the middle of the town of Smallville. And so once we get here, there's going to be this balcony, but before we get up there underneath, there's going to be a dark area that we can light up using a character like Scarecrow. I think Batman might be able to do it as well. And so now that we've lit this area up, we're going to use that here in just a little bit. So next we're going to head up to the balcony, as the name of this gold brick suggests, and there's going to be a table and chairs Lego object that we can destroy. That's going to give you a buildable hammer station, whatever you want to call these things, where we have to switch over to Harley Quinn and slam her hammer down on this machine at the right time. That'll charge up this station that's below where we lit up that dark area. And then we can switch over to a character like Batman or Robin in order to throw a batarang at that switch. And once you do that, it'll open up this treasure chest. And inside, there's going to be a buildable Lego object. You thought it might be a gold brick? Nope, not yet. And so we're going to build that. That's going to build up this trampoline, which is going to allow her to safely get down from the balcony. There's then going to be a lengthy cutscene of these two NPCs talking, and they will give you the gold brick for Honey, I'm Trapped on the Balcony. Alright, now it's time for a gold brick called Tower Trouble, and this one's going to be located sort of on the left side of the town area of Smallville. And so we're going to use a flying character to fly up here to the Smallville water tower. And you're going to notice there's 5 different targets scattered around the water tower that we have to hit. There's no time limit or anything like that. You can just go around and hit all of them. So I'm using Grid to do this. You could use Superman as well. It's definitely easiest to use a flying character just because you can fly around and just look at each target and then shoot at it. And so that was 3 out of 5. There's one sneaky one that's below there. That's 4 out of 5. And then there's another one that's below as well. And so once you've knocked out all 5 of those, it'll drain enough water, allowing you to get the gold brick for Tower Trouble. Next, we're going to do another race. This one's called Up and Down the Mines, and it's going to be located in the bottom of Smallville near the mine section. And so once we fly over here, the race is going to begin on top of this little rock on the hillside. And so we're going to start this one. I'm going to use grid for this, so you can use a flying character, but I think you're supposed to use like an acrobatic character like Harley Quinn, because later on you're going to notice some poles that we have to swing on, but we're just going to fly through them instead. And so we have to go through 25 different checkpoint rings within a minute and 25 seconds in order to get the gold rank and to get the reward at the end. So I'm flying through all these different rings. I think this section coming up, yeah, this is the section where you're supposed to swing on these poles, but I decided to fly through them instead because the game lets you. And now that we're coming towards the end here, once you get through all 25 rings within a minute 25, you will unlock the Supermobile as a playable vehicle. Next, we're tackling another gold brick. This one's called Kryptocurrency, and it's going to be found in the southern area of Smallville in the mine section. And so once we get here, there's going to be this building, and there's going to be this shipping container with some orange handles on it, so we can use a strong character like Grid or any sort of big fig character to pull on that. And inside, there's going to be a buildable Lego object, which is going to build into an aiming pad that a character like Deadshot can use. So we're going to switch over to Deadshot. Now I tried to shoot this bouncing pad, but it doesn't work because there's actually a bouncing pad that we need to build first. So we're going to head down, and over here on the left side, there's going to be a destructible Lego object, and then that'll allow you to build up this bouncing pad that we need. And so now that that's in place, we can head back up to that aiming pad on the ground and shoot exactly where we just shot before, and that should bounce the bullet off a few different things, hitting the target on the ceiling, and that'll give you the gold brick that you need after a little bit of a cutscene there. And once they get done talking, we can grab the gold brick for Kryptocurrency. And speaking of crypto, this next gold brick is called Krypto the Super Dig, and it's going to be found on the south side of Smallville in the bottom right corner where the mine area is. And so there's going to be several things to do here. So first off, there's going to be this bench press in the middle, so we're going to destroy that. That's going to give you a buildable Lego object, which is going to repair this flash treadmill. So we're going to use a super speed character on that, like reverse flash or regular flash. And you're going to be in this super speed portal where you have to go around and collect 10 different objects. And so once we gather all 10 of those, you'll build this drill of some sort. I guess we're drilling for gold. But the problem is that it's going to need to be powered up. So to do that, what we're going to do is fly up here to this nearby building. And inside, there's going to be a glass Lego object that we can destroy using a character like Reverse Flash. But I think in this case, I'm going to use Batman. Use his Sonic Batarang to destroy that glass lock. That'll allow you to pull on this lever, which is going to power up this laser beam. And so now we just need to reflect the laser beam into that drill that we built earlier. So to do that, we're going to switch to a character that can reflect lasers like Wonder Woman. Just tap the B or circle button, reflect it into the machine, wait a few seconds, and there's going to be a brief cutscene, and the gold brick will pop out. And then you'll have the gold brick for Krypto the Super Dig. Next is going to be a gold brick called Kryptonite Krash, and it's going to be found on the south side of Smallville as you're heading up towards the mines. So there's going to be this crashed truck, and there's going to be 5 pieces of kryptonite that we need to find. One of them is going to be inside the truck. This one's a little tricky, so what I do is I punch open the back door, then use a character like Reverse Flash or the Flash to target the piece that's in the back of the truck by holding the X or square button, depending on what console you're on, and he should zip in there, and it'll count as 1 out of 5. Then the other 4 pieces of kryptonite are pretty straightforward. They're all going to be in these different dig spots. So switch to a digging character like Cheetah, and it's just a matter of going around and digging up each spot. And once you gather all 5 pieces of kryptonite, there's going to be a brief cutscene that plays. Then out of the truck, it'll give you the gold brick for Kryptonite Krash. Moving on to the next gold brick, this one's called Rooftop Robbery, and it's going to be found in the back of the town area of Smallville at the big town hall building, I guess you could call it. So on the roof, there's going to be this gold brick sitting out in the open, but it's not that easy. There's going to be a security system that comes up. So if we fly back here to the back of this building, there's going to be a laser beam that we can bypass by using a character that can go invisible, like Deathstroke or Batman. Then you can pull on that lever, and that'll lower down the security system. So now we just have to fly up there using a character like Grid or Superman and fly up into that little balcony, and that'll be the gold brick for Rooftop Robbery. Alright, this next gold brick is called Dance Dance Retribution, and it's going to be found on the right side of the town of Smallville, and this one's kind of a multi-step one. So there's going to be this coffee shop with this NPC out front. He's going to talk to you for a bit, and so the first objective is to find 3 different items for the Joker. So on the left side of the building, there's going to be this dumpster with a grapple hook point on it. Pull on that with a character like Deathstroke. Inside is going to be one of the 3 Joker objects. There's going to be another one to the right of the building. There's this Lego object pole that we can destroy. That'll give you the second item. So now we're going to switch over to the Joker because he can actually pick these objects up. So we picked up the first 2, and you can see the third one. It's behind that fencing there. So how do we get back there? Well, if you head up here to the roof, there's going to be one of these hatches that we can send his Joker teeth through, and that'll allow us to pick up the third item. So now that we have all 3 Joker items, we can now take them over here to this Joker canister. He's going to throw them all in there, and that'll give him his laughing gas that we can now spray the people inside the coffee shop with. So if we head up here to the steps, there's going to be this vent on the side of the wall. So we're going to spray in there. There's going to be a little cutscene that plays, causing these different characters to pop out of the coffee shop. And here's where the dancing part of this comes from. So just wait a few seconds for these characters to get done talking, and there's going to be a little spot on the ground where we can start dancing. So we're going to tap the B or circle button to start this little mini game, and so we just have to flick the left control stick in the different directions that the game's telling us to, as well as hit the different face buttons. I've sped this up quite a bit. It's usually pretty slow. And once you hit all the different button prompts, there's going to be another cutscene, there's going to be some studs, and then it'll give you the gold brick for Dance Dance Retribution. Okay, next we're going to do a side quest. This one's called Hysterical Homies, and it's going to be found just north of the town of Smallville, and this is going to be a side quest for Psycho Pirate, who we last saw back in Metropolis. So we're going to wave our hand in front of him to activate this side quest, and he's going to want us to gather some friends for him. These are 4 different NPCs that are scattered throughout this Smallville area. So the first one's going to be near the front entrance of the town, and he's going to be found on a nearby rooftop. At first I was looking on the ground here for him. I almost thought it was that dog at first, but no, he's going to be up here on this rooftop. There's going to be a woman here waiting for us. So all we have to do is just tap the B or circle button in front of them, and that'll check them off the list. So that's 1 out of 4. Over here on the right side of town, behind these buildings, there's going to be another character just a little bit over here to the right. And we're going to tap the B button in front of him. He's like a mime-looking character. Then the third one is going to be back here by the mines. So I flew over here. I was looking around for him, but it turns out he's actually on the side of one of the buildings here. There's like this little ledge area. So we'll go up, talk to him. That'll be number 3 out of 4. Then the last one is going to be near the big town hall building at the end of town. And so we're going to fly over here behind the building in the corner. It's going to be this final NPC. And so now that we've gathered all 4 of those characters, we can now fly back over here to Psycho Pirate, wave our hand in front of him, let him talk for just a little bit, and once he gets done with his massive monologue, you will unlock the Psycho Pirate as a playable character. Continuing on with another side quest, this one's called Polka-dot Panic. It's going to be found towards the back of Smallville near the Airfield area, and this one actually counts towards the Game Guru Open World Challenge. We have to go around the city and play several different mini-games. This counts as one of them. So we're going to talk to Polka-dot Man to activate this side quest, and this one's essentially a memorizing minigame, so he's going to highlight several different colors here, and you just have to land on each color in the order that he showed you them in. So this first one's going to be green, orange, yellow, and then black or white, depending on what you want to call that one in the back. And then he's going to do that 2 more times, and that's pretty much it for this side quest. So this next one's going to be blue, pink, yellow, green, blue. And so we're going to land on each of those. I'm not entirely sure if the order is different for your game, so you guys will have to let me know if it is randomized, but I have a feeling it's probably going to be the same for everyone. But again, let me know in the comments. Then for this last one, it is yellow, red, orange, blue. And so we just have to hit each of those different colors, and that's going to pretty much finish off this side quest. Hit the orange one, and then hit the blue one. He'll start talking to you. He'll be all upset that you actually completed his little mini game here. And once he gets done talking about the deadly dots, you will unlock Polka-dot Man as a playable character. Switching over to a gold brick, this one's called Hangar Hijinks, and it's going to be located in the back of Smallville in the Airfield section. So there's going to be this hangar right here, but there's going to be a green force field in front of it. So how do we get inside? Well, if you walk over here to the left, there's going to be a gold Lego object door that we can slice open using a character like Superman and his laser vision. And once we get inside, there's going to be several different objectives we have to do. And the unfortunate part about this gold brick is there's going to be infinitely respawning enemies attacking us, which is a pet peeve of mine in the LEGO games. But first off, we're going to head into this toxic waste using a character like Joker, pull on that lever, and that will lower the green force field to get in here. That's going to be the first objective. Then there's going to be several of these sensing areas. So we're going to switch to a character that can sense things like Grid, and it's going to reveal a gold LEGO object on each of the wheels that we need to melt off. So we're going to use Grid's laser ability to melt off each gold LEGO object. And again, it can be really tricky because there's constantly going to be enemies attacking you which interrupt your laser beaming move. So yeah, it's really annoying. So just keep taking out the enemies, and as soon as you get a few free seconds, try to laser these gold LEGO objects on each wheel. And so now that we've lasered off each of those three, there's going to be one of these sliding puzzles in the back. So we're going to switch over to a tech-savvy character like Grid, and you just have to slide these different pieces around. And this is going to form the Lex Luthor logo. So apparently Lex Luthor has a secret plane that's hanging out in Smallville. And so once we form the Lex Luthor logo there, that's going to turn on these two spotlights. And so now we're just going to rotate these spotlights towards the airplane. So we're going to move that one around until it's in place. We're going to move this last one around until it's in place. And that's pretty much it for this gold brick. Now this one can be a little bit glitchy, but the next objective is to lure these infinitely respawning enemies into the spotlight, and we're going to try to blind them. But again, I found this to be a little bit glitchy. I basically just hung out here and kept beating them up for a while, and eventually you should get a cutscene where he says that I'm dazzled, and that's going to be 1 out of 2, and then I just kind of hang out here for a bit until I finally get the next one. You can see here I sped this up significantly. I'm just kind of hanging out, waiting around. At one point I'm just kind of standing there. Nothing's really happening. And eventually I get the cutscene. So yeah, this one is just a little weird. You might have to wait around for a while for it to finally activate. But there we go. We finally got the second guy being blinded by the spotlight. And once you have that happen, you will be good to go for this quest. The plane will try to leave, but it'll get stopped by the hangar doors. And you will get the gold brick for Hangar Hijinks. Moving on to the next gold brick, this one's called Something in the Airfield Tonight. And as the name suggests, it's going to be located in the airfield section of Smallville in the very back of the map. And so once we get here, there's going to be a shipping container in the back that we can destroy, and that's going to reveal a buildable LEGO object, which is going to build into a statue of the guy that's directing the plane traffic. And so once that's been built, we're going to switch over to a telekinetic character. We're going to use the rookie custom character from the main story. You could also use someone like Gorilla Grodd or Constantine, anybody that you want. And what we have to do is use their telekinetic abilities to move these two flags into each hand of the giant statue. And essentially what we're trying to do here is get the statue to match what the real guy is doing. So you can see where he's holding the two flags, and so we have to just align up the two flags to line what he's doing in real life. And so to do that, you just have to step on these two different pads on the ground. So we're going to do the middle left one and then the back right one. That's going to solve the first one. Now he's going to move his hand down a bit. He's going to get mad that we're copying him, so he's going to then turn around, which makes things a little bit tricky. But if you just copy and stand on the exact platforms that I'm standing on, you should be good to go. So we're standing on the two bottom ones now. He's going to change his hands again. And so we're just going to stand on each of these platforms in order to match up what the guy is doing. And once you do it a few different times, he's going to be all mad and start waving his hands like crazy. He's going to throw his flags at the statue, and then inside of it is going to be the gold brick for Something in the Airfield Tonight. Alright, moving on to the next gold brick. This one's called Pigsty Problems, and it's going to be found on the north side of Smallville at the Kent Farm area. So we're going to fly over there, and we're going to have to do some farm work with the animals. So there's going to be several different steps to this one. So first off, you might notice this graffiti wall right here, so we're going to blow that up using a graffiti character like the Joker, Harley Quinn, Two-Face, anybody like that. So we're going to spray paint a star right here, and that's going to give you access to this little building. And inside, there's going to be this garbage bin that we can destroy, which is going to give you a buildable LEGO object, which is going to build into, I guess it's supposed to be food for the pigs. So that bell's going to ring, the pigs are going to come out and start eating. And then there's going to be a dig spot that we can access now. So we're going to switch over to a digging character like Cheetah. And we're just going to dig this up, and that's going to reveal a vent that we can go in with a character like Clayface. You could also use Livewire for that, I believe. And you'll be inside this little cage that you can spin this wheel. It's going to cause this thing to spray out some buildable LEGO objects. It's now back outside. We're going to build this up into one of these hammer stations for Harley Quinn. So we're going to switch over to her and then just slam that hammer down right as the X hits the target. And that's going to cause this whole place to blow up, and then it's going to give you a rideable pig. And so the final step to this one is we have to just tap the Y or triangle button to ride this pig around. There's going to be this little cutscene of it jumping over some obstacles. It's going to ram into this structure and give you the gold brick for Pigsty Problems. Moving on to the next gold brick. This one's called Happy Birthday to the Ground. It's going to be found on the very north side of Smallville inside the Kent Farm barn. And as soon as we walk inside, there's going to be a cutscene that plays where there's this birthday party going on, but there's a criminal up top trying to get this present. So what we have to do is create several different distractions. So the first one, over here on the left side, there's going to be a see-through wall. So we're going to use Superman's see-through ability to change out the record on this little music player here. And that's going to create the first distraction. So now the next one, you might notice there's a silver Lego object over here on the right side. So we're going to switch to a character that can destroy those, like the Joker or Batman. Throw an explosive pie on that, and that will cause this horse to get out of its cage, and that will be the second distraction. And the third one is going to require us to use a telekinetic character. So if you notice up top, there's this telekinetic big jug of water that we need to move around. And so I tried to do it from down below here, but it doesn't let you, so we're going to have to fly up to the second floor. So we're going to switch over to Superman, fly up here, move on closer to it, then switch over to a telekinetic character like the rookie character from the main story. You could also use Gorilla Grodd. And so we're just going to pick up this water and dump it on the cake below. And that's going to be the final distraction. So now you just have to wait around for a few seconds. I tried to attack the present up above, but I don't think that was really doing anything. Eventually there should be a cutscene that plays where the criminal tries to jump down, he crashes into the cake, and then you can grab the gold brick for Happy Birthday to the Ground. Okay, moving on to yet another gold brick. This one's going to be called Chicknosis, and it's going to be found right in the middle of the Kent farm on the north side of Smallville. So we're going to fly over here to this massive chicken pen, and just to the left, there's going to be this Mirror Master portal. So we're going to switch over to him and fire a bullet at the portal. That'll unlock one side of it, and the other side's going to be inside the chicken pen. So if you get up here to the roof, you should be able to shoot through the grating there, and that'll link up the two portals. You can jump on through, then pull on this lever on the other side, which is going to rotate these things around, and that will reveal this chicken that we can mind control. So we're going to switch over to the Riddler and mind control this chicken, and that's basically the gist of this gold brick, is going around and mind controlling several different chickens to hit different switches. So first off, there's going to be that little pressure pad on the right side that we can move the chicken to. There's going to be this second chicken that we can move it over to this next pressure pad on the far right side. That's going to cause this next chicken to pop out of its little pen, and then we're going to have to get out of this large chicken pen area back out to the outside in order to reach this most recent chicken and have him step on this platform. That's going to cause a few of these fences to rotate around, and so once we have that rotated, we're going to move them just a little bit, and we're going to cause this chicken to head over here to the left side, and we're going to get him to step on this pressure pad right here in the middle. That's going to cause this thing to flip over. And so now we're going to move this chicken back over there, hit this pressure pad in the middle of the room, and that'll cause everything to flip over a little bit. It's going to cause them just to keep flipping over and over again, allowing us to reach pretty much any area that we want. And then we can get this chicken to reach where this yellow arrow is pointing. Once you get him into place, the door will open up, revealing another Mirror Master portal. So now we're going to switch over to Mirror Master yet again and shoot that into the portal, which is going to take us right to the gold brick. We're going to shoot this original side, and now we can go ahead and grab the gold brick for Chicknosis. A lot of steps to that one. So now we're going to switch over to the final race here in Smallville. This one's called Ready for Takeoff. It's going to be located in the top right corner where the Airfield section is. And so this is going to be a flying race. So right above the water tower is where this one begins. And this one has a 1 minute time frame where you have to fly through 15 different checkpoint rings, and I found the 1 minute time frame to be super forgiving on this one. Like, you should be able to easily do it in under 30 seconds. So I don't know why on some races they make it super strict and other ones they don't. But once you complete it, you will unlock the Javelin 7 as a playable vehicle. And now for the final side quest in Smallville. This one's called Poultry Patrol, and it's going to be located near the front entrance of Smallville on the left side. And for this one, we're going to talk to this little squirrel Green Lantern named Badge. So we're going to wave our hand in front of him to activate this side quest. So he's going to say there's some villainous bird activity going on in Smallville, and so for the bulk of this one, we're really just going to be following Badge around. There's not going to be too much activity just yet, but towards the end, there's going to be some kind of funny combat going on. So we're going to travel through the main street of Smallville here. There's going to be some chickens that pop out, and he's going to be a little freaked out by those at first. And we're going to continue on here up this main street, heading towards the Kent farm, past the City Hall building. And once we get up here, there's finally going to be some enemies that start attacking us. These guys in business suits. So we're going to make short work of them. I'm using Superman just so they can't damage me in any way. And so now we're going to travel up this road towards the Kent farm here. And once we get up here, we're going to get close to the giant chicken pen that they have. And there's going to be a brief cutscene where he says false alarm, blah, blah, blah. And we're going to continue on over here to this final area where we're going to have our big battle against the chickens. So once he gets here, there's going to be another cutscene that plays where they're on top of this tractor. And he's going to start getting a little freaked out here. And then there's going to be a whole big combat section here where there's just a whole bunch of chickens that start attacking you. So you just have to beat them up. And you pretty much just keep doing that for about a minute or so. And eventually there'll be another cutscene that ends off this side quest. And so they're going to pop out of the cornfields and things like that. So it's very goofy side quest here in this game to end things off in Smallville. But once we take out enough of these chickens, Badge will start talking to you for a bit. And once he gets done, you will unlock Badge as a playable character. So guys, that's going to do it for all the collectibles and side quests in Smallville within LEGO DC Supervillains. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Dislike it if not. Subscribe for more content like this. I'll see you guys next time here on Quick Break Games.